Welcome to Ladies Group Chat, where wedding chaos and pop culture nonsense are fully on the agenda. A $50 million wedding at Madison Square Garden somehow still found a way to feel messy. And honestly, that pretty much matches the rest of this episode, from Emmy snubs to Love Island falling apart in real time. The Taylor wedding details sound like somebody typed celebrity excess into an AI prompt and hit enter. Madison Square Garden got turned into a private living room for about 1,000 guests. The budget was reportedly around $50 million, and there was also a reported $26 million charitable donation attached to the event. So yes, extravagant and philanthropic, which is a very modern celebrity combo. Spend huge, give huge, and hope people discuss the second number. The fun part is that the tight media lockdown did not stop the internet from doing what it does best, which is turning absences into blood feuds. No Blake Lively, no Kardashians, staggered arrivals like the Met Gala, influencers allegedly feeling iced out while podcasters and athletes made the cut. That selective guest list became its own side plot immediately. Then there was the rumoured raffle situation with a Chanel bag and a getaway car, plus people guessing the proceeds might go to the Donna Kelsey Renovation Foundation, even though nobody actually confirmed that. A wedding raffle at this tax bracket is wild. At that point, I need to know if love is in the air or if we are at a branded activation. And Adam Sandler officiating split people right down the middle. Some loved the low-key personal touch, some wanted somebody more spiritual, more formal, more wedding-coded. I kind of get both. Adam Sandler showing up as the officiant is either deeply charming or the hardest possible left turn. The practical wedding advice buried under all this glam was honestly more useful than half the bridal industry. Paper invites still matter, but now the smart move is a simple physical invite with the wedding website on it, because guests will actually keep the card and then use the site for the real information. DIY can save a stupid amount of money. One ceremony backdrop cost about $100 in materials instead of $10,000 through a vendor, but it almost collapsed and needed emergency fixing. That is the entire DIY experience in one sentence. Huge savings, immediate panic. Also, do the hair and veil trial, skipping it, led to day of chaos and a slipping veil during photos, which is exactly the kind of tiny detail that can make you feel like you're losing your mind. And if you're the bride, stop trying to be the planner, the project manager, the craft department, and the emotional support person for everyone else. Delegate, especially if your maid of honor is already on her third unpaid internship as a wedding lieutenant. My favorite emergency fix was the donuts. A catering issue popped up minutes before the ceremony, and they got 6 donuts through personal connections and delivery apps. Love survives, and apparently so does dessert. Award season is already serving the usual nonsense. Zendaya being left out of lead actress for Euphoria got treated like a major snub, and it fits the larger complaint that TV awards keep misreading performances and even mislabeling shows by category. People get weirdly rigid about what counts as comedy, what counts as drama, and then act shocked when the nominations feel off. Mariska Hargitay hosting the Emmys is also getting reactions because she's beloved on TV, but live hosting is a completely different muscle. I love her, but hosting an awards show means being warm, quick, controlled, and somehow above the chaos while standing in the middle of it. The World Cup mess is almost too perfect because it combines bad officiating, possible political pressure, and terrible broadcasting decisions. Fans were furious over the red card to US midfielder Paul Balogun, and FIFA's partial reversal only made it worse because the card technically stands but somehow doesn't get enforced the normal way. That kind of ruling makes people feel like the rulebook is a suggestion. Then reports said Trump contacted FIFA's president, which obviously poured gasoline on every theory that outside pressure is shaping the tournament. And while all that is happening, some viewers are trying to watch on Peacock in Spanish only, and Fox isn't even giving newer American viewers enough on-screen explanation. You cannot grow the audience and also make the viewing experience feel like homework. The joy in all this is Cape Verde, tiny country, about 500,000 people, players reportedly scouted on LinkedIn, a 40-year-old goalkeeper going viral, and suddenly everybody has adopted them as the Cinderella team. That is, sports catnip, chaos at the top, romance in the underdog story. Love Island, US is apparently fumbling the easiest assignment in television. Viewers are mad about weak casting, bad editing, filler episodes, and a general feeling that the show stripped out the exact spark that makes the UK version so addictive. There are also rumours about a leadership vacuum behind the scenes, which people are using to explain why the challenges and production choices feel so sloppy. And the voting drama is making it worse because fans think the public keeps rewarding pure mess over actual chemistry. One listener even brought up polymarket odds showing some highway to nowhere couple with a 3% chance to win, which honestly sounds about right for this franchise. When a dating show loses both romance and competence, all you're left with is fluorescent confusion. 2 celebrity interviews had way more substance than the usual promo circuit. Emmy Rossum talked about IVF after PCOS, including a hyperstimulation situation where doctors retrieved 72 eggs and then had to drain excess fluid, which sounds deeply miserable and also medically surreal. She also got real about postpartum anxiety, work-life pressure, and the pay equity fight on Shameless, where a Twitter leak helped force the studio to settle. That part is depressingly familiar. A woman asks for fair pay, and suddenly she's difficult until the public gets involved. Riley Keough's interview went even deeper into grief and caregiving. She finished her mother's memoir after her death, talked about becoming a caretaker during her mom's addiction, and said the most meaningful grief support came from strangers online who had actually survived similar losses. She also became a death doula, which she described like a birth doula for the dying, and that is one of those things that sounds niche until you hear the emotional logic behind it. A quick word for the cup obsession, because somebody has to say it. Collecting luxury coffee cups and flexing branded tumblers online is starting to feel like performance art for dehydration. Stanley craze keeps getting dragged too, mostly because people are paying premium prices for status when cheaper versions are sitting at HomeGoods minding their business. And in the same spirit of money being fake, people are roasting Kylie Jenner's current look while also acknowledging that brand deals do not care if you hate the pink hair. Reportedly 100 million from Meta and 20 million from Duncan. So yes, the aesthetic discourse may continue, but the checks are not trembling. Disney is doing Cheetah Girls 4 with Raven-Simonet and Adrian, returning Sabrina Bryan cameoing, and a plot involving saving a wildlife sanctuary in South Africa. That's either nostalgic fun or proof that no intellectual property is ever allowed to rest. Also, Shark Tank bringing in celebrity guest sharks like Mr. Beast, Mindy Kaling and JJ Watt has people asking whether fame is replacing actual operator credibility. That show used to sell the fantasy of serious business judgment. Now it's drifting toward vibes with valuation. And yes, the old saying, "Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater," apparently comes from literal early bathing customs, where families reused one tub of water in sequence, which is disgusting and unforgettable, and now you know it too. That's it for this round of ladies group chat. If a wedding includes a raffle, a celebrity officiant, and social media backlash, please know we will have opinions. Talk soon. This episode was generated by Podkey. Create your own at podkey.fm.